I'm gonna go out on a limb here. This might be a crazy idea. Maybe this layoff ends up being the best thing that ever happened to you. Recently, the coronavirus has shut down countless businesses globally, and tens of millions of people are wondering for how long they're going to be laid off. So today, I want to give you 5 tips for how to survive a layoff in any economy, show you how to thrive as best as you can during a time of unemployment, and maybe even turn a difficult situation into an opportunity for a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Now here on Manifest Money Media, we talk about all things financial, saving money, and investing. And during times like this, I personally am going to take even better care of the money I've worked so hard for, because guess who else just got to be a part of these wonderful, colossal layoffs? Your boy right here. That's right, these exact tips I'm going to share with you, I'll be following personally. I know this can be an uncomfortable and uneasy time of uncertainty, but chances are this is only temporary, and if you approach the situation with a calm mind, focus on what you can control, and just do the best that you can, you'll overcome this thing and maybe even end up better off than before you were laid off. On to the first thing you want to do if you get laid off: stop spending money. Now, depending on your situation, you may have previously built up an emergency fund or financial cushion to prepare ahead of time.
I mean, what if you had a fully funded emergency fund and you were facing all these things and you had $20,000 set aside and no payments at all?
If so, you may not need to cut back quite as far, but if you're like most people and don't have a couple extra $1,000 laying around, I'd recommend cutting your discretionary spending almost entirely. Now, this may seem like a pretty extreme sacrifice right now, but you really want to minimize how far you go in the hole so that later it'll be easier to get back on track with your money. Now, I personally live pretty frugally, but during this mandatory quarantine, I'm actually going to play a game with myself in April to see how little I can possibly spend in a month. Now, this might seem kind of lame at first, but it's actually good to do every once in a while. And what better time to do it than a global pandemic when I know that I won't be buying toilet paper?
Oh my God.
Now, the next step for surviving a layoff is to file for unemployment. So I'm the type of person who doesn't like taking handouts from anyone, and I enjoy the satisfaction of crushing my financial goals without the direct help from others. But the way I see it, there's no reason you shouldn't be trying to take full advantage of any money the government will give you to help you get back on your feet. Filing with your State Department takes as little as 20 or 30 minutes, and I recommend doing this as soon as possible after your layoff or reduction in hours. At a time like this, literally tens of millions of people will be applying, and you want to secure your place in line so that you get your share as soon as possible. Now, the third thing you'll want to do after a layoff is to subscribe to my channel and crush that like button. No, but seriously, I create videos every week with financial tips, and your support helps tremendously with the YouTube algorithm so that I can continue making awesome and helpful videos like this for you. Now, the actual third thing you'll want to do is to search for jobs within your field. Depending on if your employer plans to hire you back later, this step may be obsolete. If they've given you a guaranteed reinstatement date within a few weeks or months, you might be okay to float the cost of not working for a short while. But for most situations, I would definitely recommend applying for and finding full-time work as soon as possible. Right now, you've got plenty of time to polish up that resume, call people within your network, and apply for new positions. After you apply, always request a follow-up meeting or phone call with a supervisor, because it's much easier to stand out and get noticed by making a personal first impression. Even if you land a job that's not ideal, you'll at least have some income coming in, and you can always leave that job later, so just put your ego aside and get to work. Now, fourth, since it may take a few weeks to land a brand new job, I would definitely recommend getting some immediate short-term income coming in by picking up some side hustles. There are pretty much an unlimited number of things that you can do here: online/work from home, Uber and Lyft, flipping things online, selling old stuff you don't use, or building your own business. Anything that can create some dollars coming in the short term will ease a lot of the stress and worry about your finances. Plus, you might figure out a profitable hustle that you enjoy that you keep going once you find a permanent job. And speaking of a new permanent job, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. This might be a crazy idea, so just bear with me. This layoff could be the perfect opportunity for you to change your career path. Since your options are pretty much wide open at this point, the fifth and final thing to do to survive unemployment is to learn a high-value skill. Let's say you're not making the money that you want to at your previous job, and your company or job market won't allow you to earn a higher salary. This could be a great time to start the transition into a field like computer science, engineering, healthcare, software development, online marketing, or a multitude of other high-income potential careers. There are just certain fields that will always command more expertise and a higher value in the marketplace, at least until AI and robots just replace the entire economy.
Beep! Boo boo bop!
You've obviously got plenty of time on your hands right now, so assess your skills, do some research, and figure out if now is the time to start transitioning into a new career that could potentially improve your life financially, mentally, and professionally. Who knows, maybe this layoff ends up being the best thing that ever happened to you. Now, if you find yourself not making any progress with new employment, just go back and repeat steps 3 through 5. It's totally okay if you're in a season of transition for a while, and you can live off of side jobs and temporary work until you can find something more sustainable long term. Just remain hopeful, work hard, and stay consistent, and you'll find yourself surviving and thriving during this time of unemployment. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.